young woman opens the front door and asks cautiously, Who is it? A security guard carrying a large bag suddenly shoves her aside and walks into the house. Another security guard follows behind him carrying stacks of cash, and an elegantly dressed woman steps inside as well. The young woman asks nervously, Who are you people? Why are you in my house without permission? One of the guards quickly wipes the sofa clean. The wealthy woman walks over, sits down gracefully, and says coldly, You two can wait downstairs. Sophia walks up to the wealthy woman and asks seriously, Who are you? The wealthy woman replies confidently, I'm David's ex-girlfriend. There are $2 million in this bag. Hand your husband over to me and disappear from his life forever. If I hadn't gone abroad to continue my education, we never would have been separated. Sophia says firmly, I'm not going to leave my home just because of your money. My marriage isn't for sale. The wealthy woman says arrogantly, If you refuse to leave, then you have no idea what I'm capable of. I'm extremely wealthy, and you can't even imagine what I could do to you. For your own good, walk away while you still can. Sophia replies calmly, If my husband tells me to leave, then I'll go. Otherwise, I'm staying right here. The wealthy woman says mockingly, David only married you so you could take care of him. If you agree to let me marry him, you can stay in this house as nothing more than a maid. How could a country woman like you ever compete with me? I studied overseas, and I have everything you don't. Take the money and leave immediately. At that moment, David, who has been quietly watching and listening to everything, walks into the room. The wealthy woman quickly rushes over, grabs David's arm, and says excitedly, David, you're finally back. It's been so long since we last saw each other. I've missed you every single day. David jerks his arm away and says coldly, Why did you come back now? If I were still the same poor man I used to be, would you have returned for me? I know your family came from wealth. Then he gently puts his arm around his wife and says warmly, But ever since I met my wife, I finally understood what kind of woman deserves lifelong love and respect. She's the only person I'll ever choose. The wealthy woman pushes Sophia aside and says confidently, You're a successful businessman now. Then she wraps her arm around David's again and continues sweetly, A beautiful, educated woman from a respected family belongs by your side. Someone like me is the perfect match for you. David forcefully pulls his arm free and says firmly, You claim my wife can't compare to you? He walks over to Sophia and adds proudly, My wife spends all her time taking care of our home. If she ever decided to dress up and focus on herself, she'd be 1,000 times more beautiful than you. The wealthy woman grabs David's hand again and asks emotionally, Have you forgotten the friendship we shared since childhood? Didn't all those memories mean anything to you? David pulls his hand away and says sharply, Let go. When you found out I came from a poor rural family and that my business had failed, who was it that abandoned me overnight? Wasn't it you? The wealthy woman replies quickly, I only went abroad to study so we could have a better future together. Now I've become successful and my family has powerful connections. If you're with me, your future will be even brighter. David says calmly, Your words sound nice, but they're far too late. That chapter of my life is over, so stop wasting your time. The wealthy woman grabs his hand once again and says confidently, My time is only beginning. Once we get married, we'll have the perfect life together. David frees himself once more, walks over to his wife, gently holds both of her hands and says lovingly, I'm already very happy with my wife. I don't need anyone else. The wealthy woman says angrily, I'll never let the two of you live in peace. I'll make sure this woman disappears from your life forever. The husband raises his voice and says firmly, Who stays in my life and who leaves is not your decision to make. Get out of my house right now and don't ever come back.